Hi guys, I'm Dan Whittaker. Today we are going to take a look at the footwork in the golf swing. So guys, footwork's become a bit more of a hot topic, if you like, particularly since guys have started getting body track force plates, which is sand balance slabs and swing catalyst. A lot of people have got these. Now, I had a video on this in 2010. It was on Gotham Golf Blog. Got a link above. It's an old video. Footage isn't great. Content's really good in it. Okay, so we've decided to redo it and add in a few bits for you guys. Some really good information that we've added into this. Now, footwork's really, really important in that golf swing. Okay, people don't always understand the importance of it and how it relates to the rotation, where the club is moving, how the body can pivot correctly through the use of the ground correctly. So what we're going to do is in this video, we're going to take a look at how you can start to apply this to your game. So guys, today we're taking a look at specifically what is happening during the footwork in the golf swing. Now this is something that I really believe is massive for everyone in terms of their game. It's massively overlooked. We often look at what the arms and shoulders are doing, and we don't tend to look at what's going on very often below the waist. Great opportunity for that is think about all the kids. They get so much power. They've got no power in their upper body. They haven't got any strength there, yet they hit the ball miles, pound for pound. They're really, really long. So what we're talking about is in the backswing, okay, well, both feet will be flared very, very slightly. Okay, and then as we take in the backswing, the two areas I tend to see people getting a little bit wrong are from a line here where the right hip is, we tend to see that the left knee will collapse inwards a little bit too much like this, and the hips rotate towards the target. So people are trying to get a deep hip turn, but what they're actually doing is shifting the pelvis towards the target. This is actually shifting pressure a little bit towards the target. Create a back out on the way down, all sorts of problems at impact, get a little bit scoopy. But when the pelvis is rotating too much towards the target, it's going to put too much pressure on the lower back. Okay, not going to be great for you. Okay. Second problem is that we tend to see that people will slightly sway. So in terms of the weight being across the middle of the foot here, that means that weight is getting displaced over that outer edge. From there, you can't really get back to the ball because you're too far over your right side. So that becomes really difficult. Again, you need to push up and early extend, throw your upper body forwards, lean on it with the upper body, maybe get out to win. Loads of problems associated with that. But obviously, if that weight is going across over the outside of that foot, really is quite difficult. So what we're looking at is trying to keep the weight through the middle of the foot, and the line here that the hip is on will stay on that line, and only at the top of the backswing, a little bit of daylight will come. We're not talking daylight straight away from as soon as you start moving back. There will be a tiny little bit of daylight, not a lot. You have no daylight, but if you draw a line on this, you never want to go through it, okay? You also don't want to make your left hip go through the line it would be on. You're trying to kind of turn very close to being inside of maybe a barrel or two just lines on a video screen that you can see you are turning inside of. Dead important that you get that. Now, if you tend to get your leg collapsing a little bit too much here whilst you're doing it, problem can be led down to ankle instability. Maybe you've just got an old injury in there, or you're not able to rotate through these ankle joints properly, because that's what leads to all of the hip rotation. So that's an area that we can see that then leads to problems in that downswing. Little idea here for the back swing for you would be if you just get an alignment stick through the middle of your foot. Most of you guys will have one of these. If you haven't, use an old golf shaft. Okay, then from here, what we're going to do is make sure that as you take that backswing, that I can feel the pressure moving into the right heel. Now, the pressure is moving diagonally into the right heel, so I'm loading the right glute. Feel like that's sitting downwards. So that is sitting down this way. Okay, that's creating room in here for my arms to make the downswing. Okay, if I stay on the toe and don't load it, I've got no room in this area for my arms. I'm going to tend to be a little bit trapped on the way down. So what does this then tend to lead to in the follow-through? So we have two main areas of problems on the follow-through, and these are directly linked to the feet. Okay, the first one is when the player starts down and from the top of the backswing here, make the transition but staying on the toes for too long. Okay, now we know that there's got to be pressure going slightly towards the forefoot or towards the toe box, very slightly on the left, okay, diagonally, and then as the body opens up, it goes into the heel. But the problem with some players is once they start down and they get on the toes here, they get very much up on the toes. So then because they're so far forwards and the legs have ended up leaning this way with weight on the toes, head will go backwards. Now the arms have got to extend to reach the ball. So the wrists have got to go into massive extension. That right hand's going to lose any leverage it's got against the shaft. Head's going to the right. But the big problem as well will be, we get this early extension. So i.e., where the bum is on the line here, it's going to go forwards. Anytime that happens, you've got to do something with your arms to reach the ball. Because generally, the middle goes forwards, my shoulder's going to go forwards, the head goes backwards, and further away from the golf ball than where I started. So, not necessarily a great thing, that one. The other problem we'll see is people from the top here spinning, okay? So the spin out, which is where they just think, unwind the hips as hard as you want, okay? Turn left, unwind as hard as you want from that top of the backswing. Now, you can imagine if you've done that and you've got this knee collapsed inwards, all you're going to do is shift your pressure backwards. So with the force plates, we'd see that players will have a pressure that does jump backwards and they never get over that front foot. It's because they're basically just spinning because they're not using the ground effectively to create power. So if we've got it and we spin those hips, what we'll then tend to see is a lot of these people, that right foot will move away from the target. It's not rolling across, okay? So if it's moving away from the target, chances are I'm either going to be a little bit trapped or a lot of people can be out to in and cutting across it because of where that foot's going. What they'll then do is it'll be here and then it's only at the end to get off the back foot and get through to the finishing position, okay? I like to call it a corporate golf finish. Every one of you, if you ever played corporate golf day, get a nice little photograph at the end of the follow-through. You might have made the worst move in the world, but at least you look good at the end of the follow-through. So you've made the worst movement here, but you finished in balance, okay? So that's where you'll get a lot of this going on. Now, what we want to do is we want to create some stability in this left knee. Don't let it collapse inwards too much, okay? Got a video just done with Mike on the channel. Take a look at the link above. Well, you'll be able to actually see in that video how I started working on that knee. So what we then looked at is that knee's going to be pretty stable in the back, so we're not letting it collapse in too much. Then that knee re-rotates towards the target first of all, where everything will start. Create a very slight squat in the legs. I'm not talking like this. I'm talking very slight, okay? What this does is the weight just very slightly stays on the front of the left foot. From here, okay, my weight is still going to be slightly through the right. Now, as my pelvis starts to push upwards and extend, okay, my weight is moving into my left heel as I am rotating. But you can see, once I'm in this position, I can feel that the pressure is now really going through the inside of this right foot, and it's got the ability, as I'm working through the floor, to push through that floor. Okay, so you are going to be able to push up and through the floor, the body will open up, the weight is going into that left heel, and then at the end, the pelvis will then extend up, which will then pull you into your follow-through position. Now the key is the feet being quiet, I suppose is a good way to describe it, where we see that this right foot is rolling like this, okay? And the weight is going into the left heel. If the weight is going into the left heel, it means that the club can move around with the rotation of the body. It can go this way. It also means you can stay in your posture. Now, all of you would like to hit it with shaft lean. If you want to hit the ball with shaft lean, i.e. from there to there, your radius gets shorter, so you've got to still be in posture to hit the golf ball. So So you maybe even lower to the ground. So great footwork will allow you to really get in posture and compress that golf ball a lot more. One other thing that you would see is with that weight moving across properly, that right knee will be also moving in towards the side of the left as that right ankle is rolling. You won't tend to see it moving up and out like this, okay, where it's jumping off the floor. The more it jumps off the floor like this, the more problems are going to have an impact. So the footwork is massive, okay? So what we're looking at is, as an ideal, having seen it through these force plates and what have you, is we're looking at the weight going into the right heel in the backswing, okay? Then as we're coming down, it's shifting across, okay? And then it keeps going in a straightish line. And then as the weight's going into the heel, it'll start to move around into the heel towards the end of the follow through. Now, I'm not saying that that's the only trace you can have. There's loads of different traces. That is the most efficient trace you can have with an iron. With a driver, it tends to go more towards the toe and then back out a little bit. But the way that you use the floor is what will allow you to generate leverage and power. But most important of all, it's going to allow you to be really consistent. If you're jumping up away from the floor, you have to do something to reach that golf ball. It's only going to make you really, really inconsistent. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so to the channel. All my social media links are below. Contact me through my website, which is also below. Thanks for watching and talk with you again soon.